Welcome to PR Powerhouse, helping female entrepreneurs to get in the press and to gain PR. I'm Jo Swan, and I'll be sharing how to harness the power of the media to boost your credibility and business visibility, no matter what stage in business you're at. Because I'm on a mission to show you that PR is not just for the big boys. In the show, you'll learn how to reach out to journalists and own your place in the press, because you are ready to become a PR powerhouse. Hello, and welcome to this next episode of PR Powerhouse. How are you? How are you doing? It's been an absolutely crazy week for us. There's just been so much going on. So I'm back from LA, I'm back from my little adventure, and we have been going full steam ahead with so much that's happening with the business, which is super exciting, but also so much that's happening with our clients. Like, our clients are just on fire, which has been absolutely awesome to see, to watch, to be a part of, to support. And we just got really super giddy again about the impact that PR can have and the impact that it can have in so many ways. So what we've seen this week is when our clients have achieved this coverage, we've seen the impact kind of roll out in this ripple effect, which we know happens, but we still get excited about it every single time. So one of the things that I love to see is PR fueling other PR. So that absolutely has started to happen again this week when clients have achieved coverage in one publication, and then we get other publications coming to us and saying, oh, I love that article, could we have something similar? Could this lady write for us? Which is brilliant when you start to really push the message out there through all of the different routes from having really sort of struck a chord. So that's exciting to see. And then the other thing that's been really exciting to see, and actually this part is the bit that gets me most giddy, is to see the confidence that comes from our clients when they're getting PR after PR after PR. So some of our clients have had multiple pieces of coverage this week, and you just see how that lifts them in everything that they are doing, and also how it lifts their audience. So when you start to get yourself featured in the media and you start to then share that out in your world, so across your social media, within your existing networks, it works twofold. So obviously the PR is working in terms of getting you coverage and reaching an audience that you're not normally reaching, because it's increasing your reach massively because of where the piece is actually published. You're getting new eyes on you and your business. But actually, there's loads of power in really celebrating that PR within your existing audience. And I know I've spoken about this before, but it's so interesting to see it unfold every single time, because the audience of the person who has got the PR literally feels like that person has turned into a celebrity. And, the excitement, the cumulative excitement of the audience around that person just really builds, and it really builds momentum, and it really lifts everyone's energy in that space. So we've seen that happen, and that's one of the things that I absolutely adore in terms of really seeing how the effects of the press can elevate that person in the audience's eyes. And then what happens is that individual also starts to see themselves in a different light and starts to elevate themselves in their own mind, which is one of the most powerful things of all, because when we feel like we're on a roll, when we feel like we are being recognized, and actually we take that on board rather than trying to kind of just push it away and bat it back away and go, oh, it's no big deal. When you actually embrace that, and when you actually reflect on that and accept that it means something, then you're stepping up a level mentally, because you're stepping into that higher level of you. You're stepping into that expert status that actually your audience needs you to do for them to really trust you and for you to be their absolute ultimate choice. So we've seen lots of really great effects of the press that our clients have had over these past few weeks. And so what I was going to do today is I'm going to talk you through a few examples from a couple of our clients, because what I want to try and do is show you what PR looks like. And I know that sounds a little bit crazy on a podcast. I appreciate it is not a visual medium. I know that sounds a little bit bonkers to try and actually help you see what PR looks like. But by running through a few examples of some of our recent press coverage, I'm hoping that I can get you to start to see all of the different types of PR that you can tap into. And I hope that I can bring it to life. So let's give it a go. Okay, so first of all, I am going to introduce you to a client of ours called Laura Rowe. Now, when Laura listens to this, and I know she listens to this podcast, she is going to stop in her tracks because she's going to be like, oh my God, I've been mentioned. Why am I being showcased? But I'm showcasing you, Laura, because I am so proud of how far you've come, and I'm so impressed with everything that you're doing right now. And I love to reflect back on where you were and how far you've come in such a short time. So I think you absolutely deserve to be showcased. And I think by illustrating some of your recent press, we might inspire some other people to think, actually, do you know what? I could do this too. And that would be pretty cool, right? So that's why you are my first person that I am going to talk about today. Okay, so let's set the scene here. So Laura has worked with us. She has worked directly with us as part of our Dare to Be Seen programme. And we've worked with Laura for less than 6 months. So when we first started working with her is around 6 months ago. And Laura was a part of an 8-week programme within Dare to Be Seen, where we basically promised to take you from a PR novice to being published. So this is a really nice fast track way for people who really know that PR is the next step for them, that's the next missing part of the jigsaw that they want to explore, that they want to bring into their marketing. So Laura knew that she had a big mission. She knew that she wanted to help other people find more peace and wellness in their lives and find ways to fit that into their everyday life, because she had been a victim of her own lack of self-care and had really suffered really quite dark times as a result of that. So Laura really first shared her story as a part of an event called Be Inspired, which is run by the incredible Danny Wallace, the Queen Bee. If you have not come across her, go and check her out. And it's an event that is a female empowerment event predominantly, and it's all around showcasing and sharing stories that motivate and inspire. Now, Laura had signed up to be a part of our Dare to Be Seen programme, and this was a kind of a bonus that we offered to one person who signed up onto the programme. So Laura was the lucky winner of this, and this meant that she set to the stage and she started to share her story to a crowd, to an audience, when she had not been used to doing this. This was a completely new experience for her. This was the very start of her PR journey, but we launched her in at the deep end because it was a fabulous opportunity for her to gauge actually the reaction of other people when she started to share her story and her advice. She needed that little bit of a confidence boost, I think. And what happened as a result of that was she absolutely then saw her place. She saw the need for sharing this story, because when she got up on that stage and she started to share her story, she did it in front of national journalists and she did it in front of an audience of colleagues and peers in the female entrepreneur space. Everybody fully embraced her. Everybody was rooting for her. Everybody was with her. Everyone was willing for her to really own this story and to really take that message out there to the world, because she was so powerful in how she shared her experiences and how that all connected and joined up to what she's doing in her business. So Laura knew that she wanted to go down this road of PR because she knew that there's a way that she could reach more people and make more impact with her message. So it's been an absolute joy and delight to see her get national media coverage, local media coverage, online media coverage of so many different types over the last few weeks and months. A couple of examples I'm going to share with you today from her success are different types of PR in different types of publications. So the first one that we are celebrating, because this is all about celebrating these results, the first one we're celebrating is Laura being quoted in Closer magazine. Now, Closer magazine is a pretty big deal. This is a top trust tag in terms of it's a really mainstream consumer publication aimed at women, really great for her target audience. So we were delighted that she was picked up in this article, which was all around 12 ways to switch off from work. Now, Laura is a wellness and empowerment coach, and so this is a really natural fit for her, which is amazing. So she pitched alongside lots and lots of other people to be a part of this article. Now, this came as a result of what we call reactive PR, when you respond to an existing opportunity that exists. So basically, the media were already writing this article and they were looking for experts to be a part of it. So the power of being PR ready at this point is basically the fact that you are then an absolute no-brainer choice to be included in this piece. So Laura was competing for space to be quoted within this article because she had been through the process of getting PR ready, because she had her strapline really clear, because she had her mission message really clear, because she had her bio tagline really clear, because she had a media bio done. She was absolutely ready to rock, ready to go. And it was really perfect alignment in terms of the content area. So we were delighted when she got the success. And one of the things that I love about being quoted in magazines of this size is just the gravitas that it brings. So it's a really obvious trust tag that people recognize, and it brings that instant credibility when you see the As Seen logo on your website, on your marketing, on wherever else you're going to put it. And the way that they described Laura when they tagged her was wellness and empowerment coach and founder of Align Lifestyle. Now, I mean, that is exactly what she is. That is exactly what she does. So for a national magazine to be quoting her as a wellness and empowerment coach who is completely trusted by, national media of a decent size, that brings that instant gravitas to her audience. So that's fabulous. And her comment in the piece was all around burnout and how it shows up in our bodies. So it was perfect in terms of the content to really show Laura's knowledge and her experience and how she can guide her clients. So that was fabulous and one we were super excited about. Now, next came a lesser known publication, a win within a lesser known publication. But this was equally worth celebrating because this is a completely different audience. So this publication was an online publication and it's a global publication and it's all around ambition. So ambition of women and really kind of supporting and fueling women that are on a bit of a mission. So again, a perfect link for Laura. And they've got 41,000 Instagram followers. So it's not insignificant. They're a kind of a decent player in the online space. And what Laura was talking about in this one were 4 reasons why grounding should be a part of your wellness routine. Again, absolutely perfect content for her. And I'm just going to read you the quote of actually what she was quoted as saying. Okay, so within Laura's quote, she was quoted to say, "A grounding practice is the perfect tool to help those with a racing mind find peace, stability, and feel more settled," says Laura Rowe, a British wellness and empowerment coach and founder of Align Lifestyle. Helping them to feel centered, rooted, and more importantly supported can be done in as little as 60 seconds using a gentle fusion of breathwork, movement, and intention setting. Now, there's a few things that I love about this. I actually love the fact that they've called her a British wellness and empowerment coach. And from a global perspective, somehow that just kind of gives it gravitas. I don't know, it just makes her sound quite regal, I think. So I quite like that they've popped that in there. And then the elements of her content that they've picked up, again, are so in line with Laura's message that this just further solidifies her as an expert in this space, as someone who has just got really sensible things to say about this subject, who really keeps it simple and doesn't overcomplicate things. Like, all of the key strands are coming through really strongly. And the reason that they're able to do that is because she's become so focused on her content. So she's become really clear about the strands of her content. So all the things that need to be included when she gets these opportunities, she's super clear on understanding the message that needs to get across, because it's all about repeating the same values, the same message as often as possible, so that your identity really sticks and so that people really get a grip with what you're all about. So those two together, I think you can see how this is just building Laura's brand profile, brand identity. And what we then would look to do with all of this is to think about, right, but we're positioning her as this expert in this space. What are we going to do now with this? And that's when it starts to get exciting. So as she's building up a really fabulous portfolio of content, we're thinking all the time about, right, so how can we use this? Who could we send all of this press content to? And with what end? So, we could send it to other people she might want to collaborate with. We could send it to people that she wants to do speaking gigs for. We can use it for award entries. There's all sorts of things that we can use when we bring all of this together, because combined, it really, really showcases her as an expert in her space, which is so exciting. Okay, so the last one that I would just want to share with you, another piece from Laura, is one where she was featured in Planet Mindful magazine. Now, I'm showcasing this one because what I want to do is show you the broad reach of all of these different titles. So we've got Closer Magazine, which is a real kind of mainstream consumer women's mag. We've got an online publication, which is a little less known, still significant, but global and absolutely fabulous in terms of the audience that they're reaching. That was actually called Her Agenda. I didn't tell you what it was called. If you want to go look that up, that's actually a really interesting site to explore. And then this last one, Planet Mindful magazine, feels, well, totally aligned with her in terms of much more kind of niche into her, I suppose, her more direct audience. So people that are into mindfulness, people that are already a bit more connected to their self and wellness and self-care. So absolutely a perfect publication. And what she's been able to do by the profile that she has created for herself is to sit really naturally in all of those 3 different media. And I think that is a real sign of PR success when her message is consistent, but through a number of diverse media, because what she's going to do is she's going to draw people in who maybe hadn't thought about mindset or self-care in such a way. Maybe it's not a massive part of their culture or daily activity right now, but by actually getting these messages out into more wider mainstream media, then hopefully she can pull more people through and actually make the health and wellness agenda something that is higher up on more individuals' to-do list. And the Planet Mindful one was all around 12 ways to boost endorphins. So, I mean, again, just absolutely perfect for her. So I would encourage you to go and follow Laura and to continue to follow her journey, because I think, first of all, there's lots and lots of amazing content and tips that you can just bring in and take on for yourself, for your own advice. Like, I learn loads through reading her articles. I love it when she gets featured because I'm like, oh my God, yeah, I should probably do that. Oh yes, I could think about doing that. Oh, I could bring that into my daily routine. So she's full of incredible content, but also seeing how she is positioning herself. If you are someone who is thinking you would quite like to gain this kind of gravitas, gain this kind of momentum and credibility and visibility, then actually kind of keeping your eye on what she's doing could well motivate and inspire you, because this is definitely not the end. This is definitely just the beginning, and there's so many more things in the pipeline that are coming. So I definitely recommend you to go and follow Align Lifestyle, and I will pop some links into the show notes so you can go and check her out as well. So that was the lovely Laura. Coming up next is another one of our clients who is a very different subject matter, but has also had a very diverse sweep of PR wins. Okay, so next up, I am bringing to you the fabulous Claire Sweet. Now, Claire will also probably be quite shocked to be featured on here. So this is a surprise for them. They don't know that I'm going to be talking about them today. And I'm hoping it's going to be a nice surprise for them to discover that they are being showcased on here. So Claire Sweet, let me tell you a little bit about Claire. So Claire has worked with us on the back of her launching a book. So with Claire, we're working on a very specific project, which is book launch PR. So it's a kind of a small mini campaign that is purely focused around the fact that she's launched a book and the credibility that comes from that and the doors that we can open on the back of that. Now, Claire's launched her book with Authors & Co. And as you may or may not know, we are partners with Authors & Co. So we carry out the PR for all of the authors. And it's a fabulous part of our work. Absolutely adore the book launch PR. because the people that launch a book are already really committed to their message, really committed to their mission, and really committed to standing up and showing up for that message and to reaching as many people as possible with it, because that's the whole point of getting the book out there. So book PR is fabulous because it's already given you a level of gravitas and credibility by the fact that you've become an author. And when you launch with Authors & Co, you are also pretty much guaranteed, I know Abby says she can never guarantee it, but pretty much guaranteed to become a best-selling author. So Claire, hit multiple number ones in terms of categories that she put her book into, and we were celebrating that. So we were celebrating the fact that she'd become a number one best-selling author, which is a new story in its own right. So that got us lots of coverage just purely on the back of the fact that she had hit this level of success and she had overtaken some really impressive names in her industry as well. So that got us some coverage on some business publications, on some online news sites, and on some local media. So that was already like a really great door opener. But then what we use Book Launch PR to do is we use it to position her as an expert in her space, because if she's written a book, she is an expert in her space. So what it enables us to do is to open wider doors and to enable her to have sort of bigger conversations. So one of the pieces that came out last week, which again is like one of my favourite pieces, is a piece on Medium.com. Now, Medium.com is a huge global online publication. It's connected to Authority magazine, and it is just huge in terms of its impact, in terms of the content that it covers, in terms of its audience, in terms of its gravitas. Like, it's just a really fabulous site to be featured on. We got Claire featured as part of a series that they run called Women Leading the Finance Industry. Now, I mean, come on, you can't get much better than being featured in a piece called Women Leading the Finance Industry. When you are in the finance industry, that is pretty top-notch positioning, I would say. And what this article does, so this article is a much deeper profile piece. So we opened the door by the fact that she had this book, but actually what it's doing is it's then enabling Claire to get people to understand who she is as a person and what she does in her business. So this piece is a mixture of a top 5 tips piece and a much deeper profile about Claire herself. And the power of this is that, again, the platform that it's on is hugely powerful. So it's going to bring new people into her world, but also it's a fabulous one to use on her existing profile because it's giving her audience a little bit more insight into who she is. And it's also a nice reminder of people who have followed her for a long time of all the incredible things that she's done. And that's quite a hard thing to do, for you to sort of be popping up all the time on your social media going, oh, by the way, do you remember I did this? Or by the way, do you remember that I'm award winner? Or by the way, do you remember this? It can feel a bit strange. So when you do this through more of a third party route, like an article that's been written about you, like an interview that has taken place, then it's enabling you to just kind of remind your audience of all of the fabulousness that you have got in your back pocket that, you might not have told them about recently. So I'm just going to share with you a few elements of what was in this piece because I just want to try and bring it to life for you. Okay, so the title of this piece was Women Leading the Finance Industry, Claire's suite of piece together money coaching on the 5 things you should do to increase your financial literacy. That's a bit of a mouthful, but it's brilliant because it's got her name, it's got her business name in, it's got the credibility of her being recognised as a woman leading the finance industry, and then it also tells you that actually she's going to be helpful in this article and she's going to actually give you some really useful tips. And then the format of how these pieces on Medium run means that you then get a little paragraph introduction before the main interview takes place. So again, a really brilliant place to just reflect on who you are, what you're all about, and a little bit of a credibility kind of tag that this is how you're being described. So in Claire's introduction, she's introduced as an award-winning financial advisor, money coach, and best-selling author, and the founder of Piece Together Money Coaching. And there is then a link to her website, absolute score. She runs a multi-six-figure business advising entrepreneurs and business leaders globally on money management. Perfect, because now we know exactly who she's speaking to, and the people that are reading this that recognize themselves in that will think, oh yeah, I'm her ideal client. Her best-selling book, Have Life Your Way, primarily aimed at women, gives straight-talking advice on how to achieve financial security and financial freedom. So we now also know what her book's about. So in just those few lines there, that is super powerful information for Claire to be able to communicate to this audience. And then the first question in this interview is absolute gold. So this for me is like one of the best things about these interview features, because it just leads into all of the information that we want to provide. So the first question is, can you tell us the backstory about what brought you to the finance field? Like for me, that is the absolute ideal question I would want an interviewer to ask my clients, because that is enabling us to get across Claire's story, her journey to how she's ended up here, her mission about why she gives a shit about doing this, about why she's driven to do it, and her experience and the gravitas that she's already got. We can cover so much within that one question. So this article is gold from paragraph 1, absolute gold. And then it's literally, I don't even know how many words it is, but it's a huge piece. Like there's so much content in here before you even get to the tips. Okay, so you get to find out a little bit about her character. It asks about interesting stories or things that have happened to you in your life or career that you can share. So you get to bring out a little bit of the kind of fun side of you as well, and share some surprising stories there, which is quite good. And they then ask you, are you working on any exciting projects right now? So she's then got a chance to really sort of replug her book there and anything else that she's got coming up. What makes you stand out? So you've got the chance to literally sell yourself without selling yourself, which is always a nice one. And then a little bit of talk about the sort of gender stereotypes in finance. So it's great that she's got a chance to have a voice on that and be a part of that conversation. So the depth of this piece is huge, and what I'm trying to get to by kind of sharing this with you is the power of PR comes in so many different forms. So yes, we've been able to educate people that she's got a book within this piece, but more importantly, we've got to share Claire. We've got to really help people get to know her if they're getting to know her for the first time, or remind her existing audience about all of the reasons why she's fabulous and all of the reasons why they love her. For me, the depth of the content that we can provide through some of these pieces is just as powerful as where they live, because again, we've seen kind of Claire's audience rise and get excited by this piece and several other pieces that she's also been celebrating. And it has got that ripple effect. It has got that effect of feeling like, oh my God, wow, she's done amazing to be featured in here. Oh my God, we're so lucky to be a part of her world. We're so lucky to be her clients. And that's what you want people to think. You want people to have that energy around you. You want them to be excited about working with you. And that's definitely one of the powers of PR. So that piece is a pretty broad medium, well, called medium.com. And they cover so many different topics and so many different types of content. Other opportunities that she's had, she's had loads in terms of, like I said, business publications, online publications, local press, family-focused media, female entrepreneur-focused media. We've also got some women's mags lined up. So the reach is really, really broad. But we've also had some more specific wins on things like publications called The Table Read, which is a very specific celebratory site for authors. So because we were celebrating the book, then we've been able to get her showcased on there alongside some other really impressive names who are authors. So you've got to kind of play to the story and use the publications that are right for that particular type of story that you've got. But also just do be mindful of that broader reach and of the fact that, you know, your story as an individual can fit with so many different types of press, and that's super powerful because you want to connect with as many people as possible. You don't know where your ideal client is. So as much as you might try and niche down to specific publications, you can't dictate whether someone who's interested in learning more about finance also reads Closer magazine. They might. You can't assume that they don't. So yeah, I guess it's about thinking broader and understanding that there's opportunities in so many different types of media, even with the same person and almost the same kind of content. Does that make sense? I think that's where I was trying to go with this episode today, to kind of show you, some examples of what PR is and actually how the same person can reach multiple different types of media with the same message ultimately, and just find ways to get that message out through lots of different strands, kind of having so many different legs kind of out there. Do you know what I mean? It's about really infiltrating as many different places as possible with your message, and that's when it gets super, super powerful. So today's episode has all been around celebrating a couple of our fabulous clients and trying to help you see what PR can look like, even though I appreciate you can't actually see it through this episode, through the airwaves. If you follow us on social media, you will be able to actually see what these wins look like, because we share them on our social pages. So we share links to them, and you will actually get to see what they visually look like and the gravitas of actually reading something in a very substantial media like Closer, or seeing, the depth of content that lives on something like medium.com. So go and follow us, because actually seeing it with your own eyes, I think now you've listened to this, will help it all make more sense too. So all that is left to say is that we are still in celebratory mode. So you may know that this is our theme for this entire year. I can't actually believe that we're still only in February. I feel like we've already done so much this year. But this is our theme for the entire year, celebrating you. So this is what we are out to do. And this week, when you listen to this, in fact, we have got a week-long PR party happening. So for those of you who do listen to this in real time, from the 28th of February for a whole week, we have got free content going on in our PR You Can Do It community. And it's all around celebrating you, showcasing you, giving you the opportunities to do that too, finding you media opportunities so that you can have a little taste of this, so that you can see what it feels like to actually respond to a media request, to get your content ready so that you could potentially pitch it to some press, get your message really strong, really hone those PR angles, really get under the skin of how PR works. So a lot of what we've taught in the earlier episodes of this podcast, we will be going over with some free trainings this week. So I hope that you might be able to come and join us over there too. So that is in PR You Can Do It. It's our week-long PR party. I will pop the link again in the show notes. So if you are listening to this, you can come and join at any time. So even if you listen to this midway through the week, then you are more than welcome to come and hang out with us. If you are obviously listening to this way, way in the future, then just keep an eye out, because we do this stuff quite regularly. So as long as you are in our group, PR You Can Do It, or over on Facebook, then you will get to find out the next time we have a PR party, and you can come and play. So I will leave you there for today. I hope you have an amazing, amazing day, and I hope you find a chance to celebrate you, whatever way that might be. So really just try and hone in and think about a way that you could celebrate what you are doing today in terms of your message, in terms of your mission, in terms of what you are out here to do. Celebrate it, showcase it, let your audience know that this is who you are, this is what you stand for, and this is what you are doing, and you are on a bloody mission about it. So I look forward to seeing you celebrate yourselves. All right, have an awesome day, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Thank you for listening to PR Powerhouse with me, Jo Swan. If you want to feel empowered and supported and excited about getting in the press, come and join us in our free community over on Facebook at PR You Can Do It. I would absolutely love to see you there, so I can help you take those next steps to getting in the media.